Sega.
Sonic Unleashed is a better game than you and I previously thought. And here today I'm going to tell you why. Now, throughout my childhood growing up, there were only really two franchises that I really gave much attention to, and that was FIFA and Call of Duty. I knew of Sonic at the time, but I didn't really play that many games as I did for COD and FIFA. You know, with COD and FIFA, I always bought every single game that came out until, you know, for the past few years really, because I'd just really gotten tired of those series. And I wanted to try other series out. So I tried to go through some old franchises that I used to play, maybe like one at the back of the day. I did play a few Sonic games. Now, the only thing is that I wasn't really that good at Sonic games, but I wanted to have a go anyway, to try, give it a go at some of the other games. And the funny thing is that Unleashed was the first Sonic game I ever played, but I didn't play the HD version though. I played the PlayStation 2 version, which is actually like the worst version you can actually play on all three copies. There's the PlayStation 2, the HD version, and there's the Wii version. And for a very, very, very long time, this game was out of my radar until June 2023, when I decided to play this for the very first time. So the game starts out in extraordinary fashion as we approach a base in space and we meet the evil genius himself. But someone crashes the party. Everything in this scene just screams masterpiece with its amazing graphics, soundtrack, and the intense battling between Sonic and Eggman. And as we all know, Sonic always saves the day. Or does he?
Sonic! I'm sorry. Really, look, go easy on me. I'll turn over a new leaf, I swear. Just give me a chance.
Well, this is new. Showing remorse, Eggman? If you played nice, I wouldn't have to break all your toys.
Gotcha.
What?
Now, what I love about this scene is how the music deteriorates from epicness of battling to the absolute horror. It goes from having Sonic having all the odds to everything suddenly going against him in just a matter of minutes. Eggman pulls out a trick in the booth to restrain Sonic and disable the power of the Chaos Emeralds from him, and uses the power to break apart the planet to unleash two beasts. Dark Gaia and, well, a different kind of Sonic. And once Eggman completes his plan, he says this.
Success! A brilliant success! It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold! The entity that was sealed within the planet has awakened. Now I just need to harness its power. Eggman Land will finally come to be!
You've really gone and done it this time, Eggman.
Ah, Sonic, that's a good look for you. Festive. So long, friend.
And after all that, the game begins. So the story starts with Sonic now in werehog form and bumps into a mysterious red and white creature who has no name, no memory, and no motive, as far as we know at this point. It's up to Sonic to help get this guy get his memory back, and as the sun comes up, Sonic returns to his normal self.
Huh? What? That was amazing.
But for now, once we arrived at a Potus and some ice cream shenanigans, Sonic gives a name to our little friend. After some sprinting around, breaking objects, riding on rails, and cracking robots, unfortunately we're not able to find anyone that could possibly know who or what Chip is. And after a few moments, the sun goes down and this happens.
Sonic?
Now we will go through the gameplay side of things later on, but we'll focus on the story for now. After rescuing Tails, we will make our way to the continent of Spagonia to meet with Professor Pickle for the explanation of the planet breaking apart and how to restore the power of the Chaos Emeralds. But we later learn that Professor Pickle has been kidnapped and we find out where he could possibly be held at. Now we arrive at Missouri and we rescue Professor Pickle to bring home a mysterious scroll. And soon enough we return back to Spagonia. Now this is where the story gets very good. Professor Pickle starts explaining the meanings behind the Gaia manuscripts, which is something that Eggman mentions at the very beginning of the story. Professor Pickle mentions the cause of the planets breaking apart, that being Dark Gaia. Now the professor tells us that he is known for being the final destruction of night. Now according to the Gaia manuscripts, this is the first time that the planet has been broken apart. So ask yourself this. Who or what is stopping Dark Gaia from causing extreme destruction on the planet? There's got to be someone stopping this guy. Now it can't be Sonic because he never knew that this creature ever existed. So that's him out of the way. And we can't say Eggman either because like the same reasons. And obviously even if like he did do before, I doubt that he'd be putting the planet back to rest or whatever. But anyways, now we've established the origins of the Gaia manuscripts, I want to talk about specific items that has been the main core of the entire franchise. And that is the Chaos Emeralds. Now, up to this point, we know that the Chaos Emeralds help Sonic to grow into his ultimate form as Super Sonic. You know, he's always had this golden iconic look like throughout every single game, as far as I'm aware. We never knew where they came from. We never knew where the Chaos Emeralds came from. Well, in this game, we're sent to our first temple in Missouri and restoring a Chaos Emerald inside of it, which causes one of the planet pieces to restore back within its core. So not only did they grant Sonic unlimited power, but they help keep the planet intact, keeping it healthy. How cool is that? And somewhere along the line, here comes Amy. Now, I've talked on for a while here, so I'm going to need to skip past some stuff since time is consuming a little bit. After restoring the power of the Chaos Emeralds in Missouri, Chunnan, Spagonia, Alaska, and Shamar, we get to the temple in Adabat.
Whoa.
What's wrong, buddy?
Huh? Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean. That's not... Never mind. I'm fine. Let's go.
Now, bear in mind, we've only stored like 5 Chaos Emeralds up to this point, and about to store the power into the 6th Chaos Emerald. Now, Chip discovers some kind of ancient writing on the wall, which we don't really pay much attention about. And as Sonic places the 6th Chaos Emerald on the stand to restore its power, Chip gets sucked into some kind of weird, supernatural world. And, well, I'll just let this play out.
I welcome your return. Messenger of day, of light, of rebirth. Sonic, I remember now. All of it.
Now, when I first played this game, I was absolutely mesmerized because of how good the writing was. Like, the plot, honestly, this was just... Oh my god, I can't wrap my mind around it.
My real name is Light Gaia. I draw power from the day and light and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was to protect the planet from Dark Gaia. But Eggman broke the world apart himself, and Dark Gaia and I were awakened before we should have been. That's why Dark Gaia broke apart, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. All because this isn't the proper time of awakening.
Time of awakening?
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises to destroy the world. And I put it all back together. We've been doing this over and over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep all this time? For millions of years?
Yes, for ages and ages.
I bet it's thanks to you. Even at night when I'm like this, I'm still myself, not like all the other people we've seen. You must have been protecting me this whole time.
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart. I think it's because I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been so fun, getting to see the world. I've lived here since the planet began, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it's so pretty, or that food tastes so good, or that people are so nice. I'm so glad I got the chance to discover all that with you, and I'm so glad that you helped me find my memory. Sonic, I will never, ever forget you. Thank you, Sonic. Goodbye, friend.
Hey!
Whoa, what?
Where do you think you're off to all by yourself?
What? But my memory is back now, and, well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, I mean, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just...
Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend?
Thanks, Sonic.
I love the concept of a huge monster lying within the planet's core that controls the night, and when it's given too much power, it begins its quest of dark destruction. I feel like it fits the narrative perfectly for a villain like him. Even though, like, he doesn't talk at all, but, like, he's very devastatingly scary when shown in the cutscenes. Now, remember how I asked earlier who or what is stopping Dark Gaia from causing just utter devastation across the planet? It's moments like this that just made me realise how stupid I was, thinking this guy was just like another bloody child that was just going to be a pain in my arse in the whole story. But Chip controls the power of day as Light Gaia. It makes sense. Light and Dark Gaia. They both control the day and the night. And his job is to prevent Dark Gaia rising to destroy the world, and the entire plot connects together. Sonic and Chip's friendship throughout the story is also what's really beautiful. I figured that in a lot of stories that there's just always conflict going on between the two main characters. And to me, it feels as if like it feels overdone sometimes. But in this game, Sonic and Chip never fall out. There's never any like conflicts whatsoever, unless if you're counting maybe the custom like cutscenes that they made. But no, they just never fall out even once, and they just go on this adventure for fun simply. Now they both have their great moments of dialogues between them. Chip reassures Sonic of his own strength, and Sonic reassures Chip that he'll be there for in time and need. And it's why I adore this scene so much, and I think it's why they work so well as a friendship together. They really show what friendship should always be about, always being there for each other. But for now, it is time to store one more Chaos Emerald. So, what now? We haven't heard much from Eggman since, like, you know, not much has really gone on as far as we're aware. So what has he been up to? Oh no.
Welcome to Eggman Land, the brainchild of my heart and soul. This is my magnificent empire, made possible through my genius and the limitless energy harnessed from Dark Gaia.
Whoa, this place is crazy.
I'll never understand Eggman's tastes.
And so Eggman harnesses the power from Dark Gaia to put together his very own empire. And it's up to Sonic to get through this massive theme park to restore the final Chaos Emerald into the last temple. Seeing this place just screams world domination is on the way, and that now is the time for serious for Sonic. Now, after going through the easiest level in the game, yeah. Easy, yeah, totally. Anyway, Sonic and Chip go to store the final Chaos Emerald in the last temple to finally put all of the pieces of the planet together. And finally, the world is saved.
Huh? Do you feel that? Ah!
Looks like you're a bit too late, Sonic.
Eggman!
Eggman creates this Ultra Hyper Prototype 1, or the Egg Dragoon to be specific, and he goes mentally insane on Sonic and Chip.
The Ultra Hyper Prototype 1! Crush them!
Now, this is one of my favourite moments of both Eggman and Sonic in this scene, because Eggman doesn't care what happens to Sonic in this situation. Only thing that matters is that Sonic dies.
Jeez, Eggman, simmer down!
And if you think about it, that is proper terrifying. I mean, like, Eggman is just so over the top with his full-on rage on destroying Sonic himself that even Sonic becomes shocked by it during the gameplay. And the thing that screams different in this scene as well compared to other maybe Sonic, like, scenes is that even, like, Sonic himself is different. Like, he's in his werehog form, he's not his jolly self. He is full of anger, and it is fully on showcase during the QuickTime events as he uses his full strength to take part Egg Dragoon with his full-on rage. Which even terrifies Eggman himself. It's like Eggman knows he's really pissed off Sonic, and I fucking love it. And after a brutal fight against Eggman, it is finally over. Finally over. We restored the Chaos Emeralds, we've defeated Egg Dragoon, you know, we've gone past Eggman Land, finally. And it's finally over.
How could I lose? This isn't over. I'll build a prototype too and it...
Oh, come on!
What? It's Dark Gaia.
Did you miss me?
Okay, I'll be real. The first time I saw this scene of Dark Gaia rising from the depths of hell, freaking lava, I absolutely shat myself. Seeing Dark Gaia harness his own energy back from Sonic that he gains at the start of the story just creates tension like never before. And this happens.
Sonic, you've got to get up. Sonic!
Chip! Run, Chip!
Now, if you're a Sonic fan or just someone that just at least has played a few of the games, you know that his character arc is that he always had that self-belief to winning every single challenge he faces, even if the odds are stacked up completely against him. But in this situation, Sonic doesn't believe he can win at all, and let me tell you something, if Sonic himself doesn't believe he can win a battle, that is terrifying. He's known to be this unstoppable force, always defeating Eggman every single time, but not to fear because Chip uses his power to deflect Dark Gaia's attacks and combines every single temple across the planet to create Gaia Colossus. And now let the final battle commence!
Let's go!
And also, there's no way we can have a Sonic game without Super Sonic, right?
Let's do it!
Now with this teamwork of Super Sonic and Chip, they both defeat Dark Gaia and not destroy him completely, but lay him to rest within the planet's core. The people celebrate, and there's one thing left to do. Now, we've had our fun with Chip along the way, throughout the day and night stages, taking out robots and destroying Dark Gaia's minions. We've placed all the Chaos Emeralds back. We've gone through an Eggman Land, defeating this huge giant beast. We've learned of his true identity and purposes. However, we have to say goodbye to him so we can continue to carry out his duty. And so we throw Sonic out of the core so we can return to the planet safely. The story alone is such a masterpiece as it strives into the true meaning of friendship. It's also majestic, becoming one of Sonic's greatest adventures as he overcomes the massive odds of saving the world. Eggman being possibly the most mentally insane he's ever been, from breaking apart the planet to implement his own plans to killing our most beloved hero. The Chaos Emeralds, I mean, a genius idea of making them one of the main cores of the story and not just being like another, asset of Sonic just becoming super once again. Obviously, it's always nice seeing Super Sonic in action in these Sonic games, but like, it's something you expect, right? And also the concept of day and night being the main premise of the story is just wow. It's really simple, but it's perfect. They managed to take something that's so simple and advance it. And this is why I think the story is an absolute masterpiece. Now, with the story completely aside now, we'll focus on gameplay for now. Now, level design, user interface, and for me, most importantly, soundtrack. The soundtrack for me is a very important aspect for the video game. Whenever I listen to a soundtrack, I can really get immersed in. Chances are that the game as a whole will be great. Most of the time anyway. Sonic Unleashed has the greatest soundtrack that I've ever had the pleasure to listen to out of any video game ever. And here is why. With every soundtrack, whether it's a game or a film, there's usually a few tracks that are great. Most of the others are okay, and you might find a few bad ones. Now, there isn't a single track that is bad in this game. And I will say that till I die, pretty much. Like, I'll take that to the fucking grave. And that's the thing though, like, every track is an absolute joy to listen to. The soundtrack just has a huge variety of emotions and atmosphere. Unleashed does a very smart move in its tracks for every single hub and level. But yeah, like, there are tracks implemented in these hubs and levels to create different vibes depending on the time of day in the game. Daytime tracks are more fast-paced and feel bright, nice and chill. More upbeat, if you know what I mean. Now, nighttime does have, like, a chill vibe, but, like, it's very chill. And these tracks complement each other very well. There's also other tracks that appear in cutscenes that are very epic, dramatic, and some that are just very naturally beautiful. My personal favourites are No Reason and Chun and Night. I mean, not gonna lie, I do like the Werehog battle theme, but for fuck's sake, can you please lay it off for 1 second, please? It's a good track, but when you're playing the nighttime levels, you're just hearing this every 20 seconds, I swear. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but when you want to listen to the entire level music, you don't really hear, all of it at all. And you look up the track to the level you want, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, YouTube Music, or whatever, and listen for it yourself. And it's a shame that the Werehog battle themes just occur way too much, because I feel as if gamers aren't really exposed to the level tracks as much. I want to talk about 2 particular tracks. So first off, we'll talk about the Versus Dark Gaia track. Now, it starts out with a huge, disastrous monster vibe, like some kind of disaster movie. With a lot of tracks, they tend to have a build-up every time, and this track does just that, and it does it to such an amazing extent. Once you get to the part playing as Sonic, the music progresses for a race against time, and it gets faster and faster and faster, letting you know that as Sonic, you have to be very quick throughout this part, or else it's over. How terrifying is that? Now, with the other track, Super Sonic vs. Perfect Dark Gaia, wow, epic finale at its finest. Now, they do this really genius bit with this track. Now, if you listen carefully, you can hear the tunes that go along with the song Endless Possibility, which is like the main theme of the game. And what they did with the song Endless Possibility is that they did its own instrumental to combine it with such a dramatic final battle music piece. Now, level design is pretty top notch, I must say. Now, there are 2 different styles of gameplay In the daytime stages, we have the normal Sonic fast-styled gameplay. And obviously, like, we have your, like, few platforming, like, bits in daytime stages. But in the nighttime stages, it's a whole different story. Sonic is always known for being fast. But as we've discovered in this game, we have a few changes. We have the Werehog gameplay. Now, Sonic has lost his speed and he's lost his flow. But inside him is a power you'll never know. These levels are more slow-paced, but it's more focused on action-styled gameplay with the Werehog. The Werehog gameplay didn't quite get good reception when the game first came out.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And the main reason for it is that I feel as if people felt like the levels went on for too long and that maybe the Werehog form wasn't that fun to play as. And I'll be honest, I disagree with both of those occasions. Some of the Werehog levels aren't even that long, especially when you play Dragon Mode. It's actually not that long. I'm not even kidding when I say this. You can complete that level in just 2.5 minutes. I'm not even joking. That is the quickest time that I've done that level. Windmill Isle takes about 8 minutes to complete. If you could take a while to complete like Skyscraper Scamper, I think that's still probably the longest nighttime level. But to me, they're all spread out as equal to the slow gameplay. So what I mean about that is that because it's slow paced, I feel like there's got to be like more to do for the time that is given. Whereas with the daytime stages, like it's all going so quickly. You know, when I look at, you know, levels like Jungle Joyride, like it's stuff like that makes me feel like that daytime stage went on for too long, in my personal opinion. It goes on for 6 minutes, like average. Obviously, it's quick compared to the nighttime stages, but everything goes so quick in the daytime stages that it's got to be fast overall. Now, I'm not saying like it has to be finished within like a minute or whatever. 3 to 5 minute mark is perfect. And the reason why the nighttime stages like should be around about the 8 to 10 minute mark is because you're focusing more time on exploring. Exploring is great for the nighttime stages, especially when you're first playing through them. Now, linearity, I feel, is an important part to level design. Setting out different paths from A to B can really create unique gameplay. And the daytime stages certainly deliver wonders from this, from the very first level alone. Now, not gonna lie, Skyscraper Scamper does this in pure fashion. Big tip I'll give to you is that make sure you take your time exploring these levels, even in the daytime stages. You may find a secret path that can save you a lot of time, and when you find it, it feels amazing. You can play this level in so many outcomes, it's crazy. Whether you want a very quick time or you just want to create your own unique path, try out the daytime stages if you happen to be bored one day. You might have a blast with this. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the nighttime stages, the word linear is very apparent when you play these levels. You know, it's not non-linear like with the daytime stages. A lot of it is pretty linear. It's not like you have access to completely different paths to approach the objective. Maybe you'll have a different path to point B, which will be about 20 seconds long, and for a Werehog level, this ain't that long at all, if I'm being honest. Or at least it doesn't make that much difference. Now, the only level that is unique with multiple paths is Dragon Road. Now, I wouldn't mind having the one level, you know, that is non-linear, but the problem is that Dragon Road doesn't last that long, so it just makes the rest of the nighttime stages feel a little bit lackluster, unfortunately. But even though the nighttime stages lack a non-linear level design, it does a good job in good old-fashioned platforming, and the combat engagements are epic indeed. Now, every now and then you'll need to do puzzles, which is simple to figure out and quite intense in times. The combat engagements are the real highlights in these levels because it can honestly create epic gameplay. You can have Sonic completely drain all of their health all the way down, or you can make him perform a special attack. And this is how you implement QuickTime events in your games. A message to any developers out there. Don't have the player just press A to just wait for like an absolute draining cutscene, you know, from just, you know, spamming A and such or whatever. When implemented properly, like Unleashed, can give the player goosebumps as they progress through the level. And when the player completes the QuickTime event on the Dark Gaia minions, they can get more points in which they can get them a better rank. Now the final boss fight against Dark Gaia has a great gameplay side of it. The first stage involves controlling Gaia Colossus, having to chase after Dark Gaia by dodging and punching through the asteroids. And then next comes along a bunch of QuickTime events once you reach Dark Gaia, and shortly afterwards it switches to Sonic, to which he has to get to the main goal before the timer runs out. Now, the 3 sections have pretty good level designs considering how short they are, except maybe the second one. These sections aren't shy of implementing different paths, and it's quite a big risk since finales are very linear focused, a lot of them. You know, the endings, I think, very difficult because you really want to go all out on one particular scene. You want it to go the way you want to, but they did this non-linearity in its designs, and I think it's perfect. And I can safely say that Unleashed did a great job on these small but epic sections. You do these sections, 3 times, and my goodness, these are intense moments, especially the third one anyway. It's really time-inducing, especially if you get hit anyway. You come to the point where you might just about make it within like a split second. But yeah, these are just very intense moments, especially when you have Chip screaming in your ear every single time. Now next it's time for Super Sonic to take on Perfect Dark Gaia. You boost your way towards the shield and start taking out the Dark Gaia snakes, which help keep the shield intact. Now this section is pretty intense. You got to take them out using Super Sonic's power whilst also being aware of Chip's health in the bottom left. However, once you take out all of the snakes, QuickTime events will reappear again, in which they're used as a very beaten finale to the epic action as Super Sonic saves Chip. Now the gameplay side of things is mostly great. The daytime stages are the biggest highlights for sure. Even if there's 1 or 2 that go on for way too long, but the supported multiple paths, nice pacing and truly intense sections. Although the nighttime sections don't quite have the non-linearity level design as the daytime stages do, I can see that the action-styled gameplay is the main focus for those levels, and they did a pretty good job at it. And maybe Sega could try maybe doing this sort of style of gameplay again in the future, maybe. And the fact that, you get so many combat moves to choose from, coordination, and I just try these out in the hub levels to test your werehog skills. With these levels, there's plenty of fun to have for both types of players. Daytime stages are great for those who want to experience the supersonic speed through stages whilst also keeping the good old-fashioned platforming as well. If you want more of a chill time with Sonic, play the nighttime stages. Much better for action explorative gameplay, and if you happen to be both of these players, then this game will be a dream come true for you. Now, I've been rambling on for quite a while now, so time to go through a few bonus material before we conclude everything. Graphics for a game that came out in 2008 is honestly extraordinary. It looks better than a lot of games that we have today. And trust me, it's a huge deal. Imagine if it was possible to make this game even more beautiful. I dread to think what it would look like. User interface is spot on as well. It's not too in your face and completely complex, whilst also not being too basic either. You'll have your lives, rings, ring energy, experience points to improve your stats, whether it's your normal Sonic or the Werehog. It's all nice and neat. Just what I like. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never liked diversity being involved in video games because they're treated more like a checklist nowadays. For me with video games, the main purpose for when they came out is that they were just pure fun. You know, there wasn't really that much attention when it came to politics and such, which is why I just don't like how video games have just really plummeted downhill a bit in recent times. You know, when it comes to just focusing on politics, and it becomes more of impressing the masses instead of just being what we want it all to be, just fun. However, Sonic Unleashed does diversity perfectly. It doesn't force it in your face at all, and even focuses on the cultures from these races. Now that is how you do diversity. Makes you see how different everyone else's cultures are from our own. As for collectibles, there are Sun and Moon medals, music tracks, cutscenes, and artwork scattered all over the hub worlds and levels. Sun and Moon medals help you unlock more levels to progress through the game. The tracks, cutscenes, and artwork are incredibly difficult to find, so take a good time to look around when exploring for them. Now, there's other stuff to do like hot dog challenge missions, which are scattered on every single continent, and they're pretty much like going through the same levels again. But some of them come with their own challenges, where you have to do it within a certain time limit, or you have to collect this many rings, defeat this many foes, like enemies. Or with the nighttime stages, you have to complete the level within a certain health bar limit. It's actually pretty intense when you first try it. Maybe it doesn't sound like it when you think about it. For me, there's plenty of content to play if you're bored, you know, without buying DLC. DLC is fucking difficult though. Now overall, Sonic Unleashed is such a masterpiece of a game with its very touching story between a great friendship between Sonic and Chip. An awesome adventure with Sonic overcoming the massive odds to defeat Eggman and the giant beast. The daytime levels being absolutely chaotic fun with non-linearity. Although the nighttime stages may not have the same layouts as they do with the daytime stages, like when it comes to being non-linear, it replaces with awesome action combat style gameplay. It feels like this game has received a lot more love compared to the time of its release, because this game was very hated on at its time. I think maybe the Werehog was perhaps too strange for people to cling on to, but I feel like that's maybe a little bit changed since it came out. But yeah, it's a very aged, well video game, and this is why I think Sonic Unleashed is a masterpiece.